Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. I'm your host, Dom Asher Mateo, joined by good friend and colleague, Mr. Michael Hudson. How are we doing this morning?
Good. We're finally back in America on the West Side. Feeling great.
West side, best side?
West Coast, best coast is what we actually say.
I'm more of an East
But I'm
Coast guy myself.
starting to believe that might not be true.
It's not true. Time is
Growing
at
up,
5:48 a.m.
Yeah, and I've been jet lagged. I've been up since like 2 a.m.
There you go.
Which is like what? Like that's like my brain is like it's 4 p.m. dude. Get up. What are you doing?
You look very awake.
Yeah, I've been up for a while. I went to the market. I tried to go to the gym, but it was closed. Like tried to watch the sunrise, but the sun didn't come up. It's all sorts of problems.
That can be an issue. All right, well, here we are this morning, wrapping up a pretty wild week. Not too many trades for me, but market-wise, this is just another morning of multiple 100% gappers. This will come to an end, but it is not going to happen today. We have more gappers, more movers, a lot of stocks in play, or Holo is still alive. SMCI is over 1,000. There's stuff going on in the market, and yeah, you just gotta kind of pick and choose where you want to go with the market. I got more stocks on my watch list than I know what to do with. So once we wrap up here, got to get that tightened up, get my focus back, and attack this last day of the week. We probably should just jump right into it, but for all of you who are new here, make sure you are subscribed right here to the channel, that you have hit that thumbs up button. We talked about it yesterday. The best thing you can possibly do every morning is hit that thumbs up button. If you want to have consistent, success throughout your life, you have to hit the thumbs up button. Everybody knows this. So practice this morning. Huh?
Sign up for Clover. And probably sign up for Clover.
That's like a secondary thing. What's really important is that you hit the thumbs up button.
Okay.
Alrighty. Yeah, good morning, NASDAQ. Welcome in. We talk about gappers, we talk about movers, talk a little bit about fundamental analysis. Generally speaking, we haven't had a lot of that because the gappers have no news.
Sometimes we talk about our feelings.
We talk about our feelings. We talk about motivation. We try to be the best versions of ourselves we possibly can be. It really is fun. So welcome in. Get in that Clover chat over on YouTube. Put your questions in there. If we have time towards the end, we'll answer them. But we got a few gappers to go through. So let's take a look at El Scannero. As you can see here, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5. Now there's a sixth. A sixth 100+% runner. No. Let's start with the top one. Let's get through these. CPOP, CPOP.
Right.
Pop Culture Group out of China, 1.8 million flow. Is there news? Definitely not. 11 months ago there was. So rapid fire. So I need you to stay with me, Huddy. Okay?
Yeah, I'm honestly just setting up my template, so I'm really glad you're just doing what you're doing right now.
-2 months of cash left. There's a 2022 shelf for 200 million. That's all there is. Offering ability is low. Historical is high. Cash need is high. Let's take a look at the chart. Top left, bottom right chart. Looks like they IPO'd back in 21 and have not really done much since. We have a top in the $40 area, but we are opening near 5. Decent volume this morning. Popped up around 8 a.m. 150 as high as 850 this morning. You guys could probably, as we go through all these gappers, rinse, repeat everything I've said for the last week on a lot of these China gappers that have just been popping on no news. They've been C-popping on no news. There's not a lot of interest from me. I know Huddy is going to have a very busy morning where he will probably be putting his system to the test on days like today with multiple big gappers. For me, it's more about, especially recently, the edge being yesterday, CHNR. What was the other one yesterday? Help me.
DXF.
DXH. DXF. Yeah, there was a few, and they all kind of been getting worked a bit. So definitely feels like there's less runners off of these gappers now, and they are getting hit a little harder. It is a Friday, so you never know if one of them does get going.
That's probably false. I think that's probably false. I think you're getting like 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 kind of cadence of squeezes. So, um, like if you're just counting it out, like taking the whole sample size, like it's pretty hard for me to nail 4 in a row without taking a full size loss on at least one of them.
Yeah, like CHNR would
CHNR,
have been your one yesterday.
DTSS was the day before, or what was it? Yeah, DTSS was the day before. Um, but then for as many DTSSs, there was also like ELWS, and there was also
DXAF.
BREA. So I like the days with multiple because I feel like
The odds will play
until
out better.
yeah, I think the odds play out better because it's like less stress on just one. And if you get maxed, you're like, damn, that sucks. Whereas like if you get maxed on one, you
You
still have
just go
four
to the
others.
next
And
one.
if
You're
you
like, how are we doing on this one?
yeah, and if you know the odds, like it should be fine. But of course, the day that you get maxed on all of them is the day that you give up all your profits for the month, and that's super sad. But it's not supposed to happen like that. Just because it's not supposed to happen, that doesn't mean it can't.
So, what are your thoughts here on C-pop? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't need thoughts. I have data. I have objective fact and reality.
Yeah, he's got
Like
objective fact and reality. There's no real volume going back on this daily chart multiple years, which means it's pretty clean, pretty fresh. Today's going to be one of the biggest volume candles of its history. So we'll see how this one goes. It is the top percent gainer as of right now, as of 8:54. One could beat it. You never know with how fast things are moving in this market. The next one on my list is GXAI.
really?
Gaxos AI.
Okay.
I have 9.3 million float. 24 minutes ago, they are going to launch an AI solution for game developers and studios. 12.3 months of cash left.
Is that Chinese?
No.
It doesn't sound Chinese.
No, it looks like their recent IPO from last year. There's some resistance at dollar area, 160 and 240. And we're kind of hanging around $1 right now. Popped up late, 8:30 a.m. Popped from 20 something cents all the way towards $1.70. So they're 200+% mover that any given moment could be over 300.
Classic.
Classic.
Was there any dilution for any of these C-pop or GXAI?
I told you to keep up with me, and for you to be looking, you're the expert on the dilution.
Expert. I just read what it says on that goddamn page.
Yeah, I don't see any dilution. I don't have a lot of information on this. I don't know if I got signed out of dilution tracker or if there just isn't. It looks like it's pretty new and there's not a lot going on here because it looks like that's the only news I can see. But GXAI, small-ish float, 9 million, cheaper price range. So this isn't your, at least right now, your $1 to $8 gap up and then move to 10 or 12 is just a normal casual move. This is a little bit thicker, a little bit lower priced. We'll see if that entices anyone. But we do have some areas of resistance on this chart that might come into play. Huddy?
Yeah, C-pop, it says on dilution tracker.
We're on GXAI.
I got nothing on GXAI.
GXAI, so it is AI
chart.
in the name. It's obviously AI stock. We've seen a few of those pop up. SOUN yesterday, I believe. Big gap up into the $4 area. Any other AI stocks recently?
Mm-hmm.
Which ones?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No, most of the AI charts have been dormant, but
Yeah,
like I've
for a
seen
year.
rumblings. I see them on my scanner, but a lot of them kind of just got like from the runs last year. It's not really a good sector because there's so much overhead resistance that like kind of petered out and put a bunch of bag holders higher. Like these charts can't really move right now on the backbone of this NVIDIA and SMCI momentum, like you would expect. So I don't know. I haven't really seen too many AI tickers, but I have seen them like with SOUN up yesterday. Some of them started to like get degenerately hit.
Yeah.
Makes sense. People are like, oh,
yeah,
no,
it's an oldie sector that I think people are comfortable with. They like, they believe in. That's GXAI, so we'll see where that one opens. Currently pushing back over $1 now. Next one on the list is HTOO, which is, of course, Fusion Fuel Green PLC. This one has a 9.72 million float out of Ireland.
I like Ireland.
4 hours ago, they received notification of IPCEI approval from European Commission for 630 MWHEVO Portugal project.
See, this one's scary for me because, going back on the chart, there's literally no volume ever. Like it's kind of uncharted territory for this guy. Uh, don't really know, like, if there's a history of failing. Don't really know if there's overhead resistance. Don't really know why. I mean, what, it IPO'd at 40 or 30 and came all the way down? Kind of what it looked like. So it's kind of just something that looks so fresh to me that it's all 50-50 in my mind.
Okay.
I'll probably play it.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. It's not like your normal small cap runner where we've seen it have multiple big moves or at least multiple big gaps. There's really nothing going on. We've already done 41 million today, and that is historical. We're already bigger than every other day on the rest of the daily chart. So I don't take too much into account all of these resistance areas. Like, you can obviously put tops at like $7.50, $9, $11. But the volume today is already overwhelming all of that. Pretty choppy pre-market so far. So we'll kind of see where that one opens. What did I say the float was? 9.72 million. Let's see what else is going on dilution-wise. Negative 5.6 months of cash. The cash needs high. Offering ability is medium. You see anything in these warrants? $11. Huh?
Hutu?
H2,
Yeah.
there's an ATM, 4 million remaining on that from 2022.
These, I don't know, this fuel, just like seeing fuel, like energy companies generally are debt-ridden companies, just in general. So more than not will have some kind of dilutive feature in place. It does look like they have some notes that are pending effect at cheaper prices. Like, if you think about it, like your Camber Energies, CEIs, and stuff like that. Like, I remember when that sector used to go kind of crazy. There was another one like sort of an M that was always there. Yuma was another one. All of these companies always were kind of ridden in debt and warrants and stuff like that, convertible notes. So I do imagine dilution here. But as far as dilution tracker says, yeah, it's pending.
Okay. Next one, as we go down the list of 100% gappers, is AMBO. AMBO. Another cheaper stock. Let's take a look at what's going on here. This is AMBO. Actually, it is AMBO. AMBO Education Holding out of China. 18 mil float. News is that there isn't any. 17 months of cash left. They got cash. Offering ability low. I see some not registered warrants. Warrants at higher prices. Not registered. Shelf.
Oh, a 37-cent stock? What the frick am I looking at, dog?
37. We got to look at them all.
I don't want to look at this one.
AMBO. Let's
AMBO.
see. Looks like it went yesterday at the close. Moved from 15 cents to 70 cents. So a nice little triple there, or quadruple.
I think this one won't end well. A, the data kind of supports that, definitely. But B, if you're going back on the chart, like, I just see it looks like a dinosaur almost, where you have all these like spikes on its hump and it comes right back down. That's kind of a joke, but it just looks like almost every spike that it has, and it does spike, but it comes right back down. I don't know if it's same day or a day later or whatever it is, but I don't think this stock has been very good to shareholders.
Yeah, it's got a history of, like you said, the wicks. I never heard it being described like a dinosaur, but I kind of see it
You
now.
see it?
I see it a little now. I kind of see it back in these area right here.
Yeah, further backwards.
But yeah, so that just kind of tells us that behaviorally this has a history of not being able to sustain its gain. So maybe it does have quick swipes or a little bit of short-term momentum, but that momentum is met by heavy selling pressure. Today, already going to be more volume than a lot of those days, but already kind of have the wick going from just not being able to hold up in pre-market right now, holding near the lows of pre-market. So we'll see about that one. Like you said, data suggests that cheaper stocks in this type of gap range over 100 175% now generally don't hold up too well. I don't think this price range interests a lot of the people who have been, we're in a very chase heavy market right now where people are really like the low float $5 to $10 stocks because they can double in one morning. You saw that with CHNR yesterday from like 3 to 8 just right off the bat. I don't know if they really want to trade a 37-cent stock right now. I think they'd rather buy the stock up 300% at $5 than the one up 200% at 37 cents. That's just my gut feeling.
Honestly, the way I saw CHNR trade, it looks like the algo attacks the one that's easiest to be manipulated. I don't know. I also heard afterwards that there were like text messages going out about CHNR. I don't have access to that information at live time in current time, but people eventually told me that. But I didn't need to know that there were text messages going off to know that it was manipulated. I just took one look at it at market open and saw that there was like very easy for it to push it around like 20. The level 2 was so thin that they just locked it up with their algo. So that's why I haven't longed any of these. Like when people keep saying like go long, I'm like, how are you going to play whack-a-mole with these? You really don't know which one they're going to target and which one they're just going to let completely unravel. Very hard to play that game. So, but I don't know if it's really like the retail crowd that's getting these stocks to have their 300-400 spikes in the morning. I really do think it's an algo that's targeting one that is manipulatable.
Very manipulatable.
Manipulatable.
Let's go to the next one. OCG, Oriental Culture Holding, out of China, Hong Kong. 2.95 million float. No news. 12.5 months of cash left. Offering ability medium. We got one shell from January 2022. Like I said, pretty low float, under 3 million. Chart-wise, another one where the volume today is already more than most of the rest of the daily chart. Looks like it did sustain a decent move back in the day. Let's go back further. So been trading since 2021. Got some support up here near 18 and 14. Not a lot of history here in terms of being able to take from it. Obviously near the lows on its chart. With some room to run because there's really not all that much volume. Haven't even done 1 million yet this morning, but that did just pop up at 858. So this one, it must be new to the group since we started. Looks like it's already kind of been a round trip from 150 all the way up to 650 on like 600K shares and all the way back down towards 3. So this is one that, who knows, by the open could already have come and gone. What do you think about this one?
Like this one's thin, right? This one doesn't like when I think AMBO and OCG are the ones I really don't care about that much because the volume's all not that great. You're looking at OCG and you're seeing 700,000 shares right now. So it's not really the same as like when you're looking at HTOO and it has 41 million and GXI has 20 million and CPOP has 10 million and they're given price ranges. So this one I probably ignore it because I just not enough liquidity.
Yeah,
this
is definitely the word manipulatable, where in 15 minutes, or wait, more like 10 minutes, you have a move from 1 to 6. What is that, like 500%, 400%, and it's already back down. Not really much of a market here so far, so we'll see if this one holds up into the open, but super light volume there and a low float. Not a good mixture when it comes to safety. Okay, we're moving down the list. TCTM. It's a China company. 7 million float. No historical PRs found. 46 months of cash. I can't even find any information on it. It says that Dilution Tracker says that it doesn't have any relevant dilution filings. I have 7.11 million float. If you have any other information, let me know.
My screen just did annoying things. What's the ticker?
TCTM. And that all kind of checks out when I start to look at the daily chart, and I see that Most days are super, super light volume. Like there's even days where it trades 0 shares. So when it says no historical data or no previous PRs, that kind of makes sense to me. Very manipulatable. Again, move not that big of a range this morning, less than $1 a share of range, but is up over 100%. From yesterday after hours, it spiked from 1 to the mid
ECTO, what is
threes.
it?
TCTM.
Thank you.
Another one. These stocks that are gapping that have really no history of runs, no real history of trading, no news. When I pull up the dilution tracker, I can't get any information. Like these are like go so down on my priority list. Like that's the last type of stock I want to lose on is a low float stock that's running for the first time on not a lot of volume, and with no
What'd you say
real
the flow
history.
was?
I have it at 7 million.
I'll take that.
Yeah, they just a lot of these just don't interest me all that much. I'd really want there to be levels to play off of from the daily chart. Like Huddy said, I want there to be excessive volume, so I know that there's a market there, and at least it's not being completely manipulated by just a few people. And I feel like when you have like weeks like this where we have multiple 100% gappers every day, there are going to be some that get lost in the weeds that are just kind of up, but they're really not playable. Like, you know, normally 123% gapper would be everyone's top watch, but I don't know, going into today, if that would be the case. What does Huddy think?
For what? Like what? Think about what?
TCTM.
Yeah, I mean, the chart has some history. When I go back, it's traded. Looks like it's done a number of reverse splits. It's had a number of like plumpish looking runs that get sold into and get dragged right back down to the lows. I don't know. Look what happened May 17th to May 19th. Like that's not great for whoever was believing in TCTM at the height of 2017.
2017? How far back we going here, Jim?
And just go back. Get a full picture of what the stock has done, and
May, what year?
2017 to 2019. It's just like straight down. It's quite the trend line. So yeah, I mean, gut says there's bag holders. Gut says that this shouldn't go higher, but again, like you said, like if they want to turn on the algo and create stops on any of these, I think they can. They have the momentum. You have chat rooms. You have all these people that are looking for any type of volume and spikeage in the morning, and then they're going to alert their chat rooms, and then retail's going to pile in, and they're going to get some kind of spike. Again, I don't know which one it's going to be, and I don't play that game because I think it's more of a game of whack-a-mole instead of like rooted in science. But teach their own. And if they decide it's TCTM, they decide it's TCTM. But at the end of the day, like most of these Chinese companies, like I keep saying it, they're garbage companies. This is like the worst sector to be popping off like this, and it's been great for me until it will. And there's gonna, and I smile with it now, but there's gonna be a day that I think I'm gonna be super sad, and they're all gonna stop me out or something. But it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just like the nature. Like all of these companies are trash Chinese companies, in my opinion. And I don't need to go through their fundamentals to know that. I just can look at their daily charts. I can understand what the Chinese sector is and why they're listed in the first place.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm not in love with this sector. Chat's pretty tired, it looks like, because they're not really asking questions, bringing up any tickers.
That's great.
Yeah, we all. It's okay to be a little tired from this last week. We've been here with 3 to 500+% gappers. We've seen 500% gappers, 1,000% gappers. I mean, for goodness gracious, Holo is touching the 40s in pre-market. Like,
really?
It's a weird. It was, yeah, weird sector, weird runners. I hope you all are staying safe out there.
I'm not.
You gotta stay safe. Throne says, as long as all of them turn into liquidity trap later on, I'm not having any FOMO. It's good. Good to know exactly where you belong. Waiting for your setups.
Yeah, I just wish I knew what a liquidity trap was.
I don't know what it is. But
it's anyone's best guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to trade all this garbage. Just because something's up hundreds of percent doesn't mean it needs to go anywhere near your watch list. What I tend to do with all of these is I'll put them on a list somewhere in the morning. Like we have 5 or 6 of them right now. I'll check in at like 1 o'clock, see where they're all at. The ones that are giant red candles probably get deleted. The ones that kind of hold up, maybe squeeze out a little bit, maybe harass some short sellers. Those ones, maybe I'll continue to keep on a list for maybe potential first screen days down the road or potential short if they hold up. You just got to kind of plot your way around very meticulously. You kind of got to avoid a lot of landmines. If something has a super low and manipulatable float, that's the word of the day, I guess.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You just don't need to step in front of it. You don't need to play just because there's volatility doesn't mean you need to be trying to hit home runs on these very subpar setups, in my opinion. But there are opportunities. Maybe out of all eight to 10 of these gappers over the last few days, there's one play that's setting up really nicely for a first screen day, or one of them that's setting up really nicely for a short window resistance. Whatever it is, find that area that fits, what you're doing in the markets and the patterns that you trade. It doesn't need to be all of them. And to be honest, the more that you trade, the more you're going to add variance into your trading, and you're probably going to end up break even or losing. Because, unless you catch, a 30 bagger on holo on day one, or you catch a triple on one of these in the morning with big size, those type of habits of chasing these type of stocks, those people will be humbled in the next couple of weeks when 100% gapper fades all day instead of going 100% before fading. So it's good just to understand that kind of stuff before it happens. Parker asks, how have you guys done this week with all the volatility? Done fine. The only real trade I've taken that's amounting to anything was holo for a screen day because it fit a pattern of mine. I haven't really traded all the other stuff. I'm watching SMCI quite closely because I think a big trade could be coming there. Yeah, you guys are still talking about liquidity trap. I've seen that stuff. I think it's a lot easier said than done, though, because I see the word everywhere, and a lot of those stocks don't do anything. So it's a good idea in theory, but when every other stock is liquidity trap, I'm not sure if that's the case.
I'm having a great week. We're up almost multiple 5 figures just from this week alone. We love it. And I hope that this fucking stupid shit is here to stay, because this is absolutely stupid and it's freaking fantastic. This is in small cap, like I live for these types of moments where you have an absolute anomaly happening, where you have, again, literally like none of these tickers belong up 300%. And of course, some of them will squeeze, but like this is unique. This is where Huddy makes his money. And it's very on par for February that we're having something of this magnitude. So, yeah.
This is a good market for what Huddy's trying to do. And then there will be a period where maybe he doesn't trade a few days in a week because all the gappers dry up. It's constantly cycling between different types of strategies, different types of patterns. What matters is that you know what yours is, so that way you sit back and do nothing when yours isn't there, and that you put your foot on the gas when it is there and make sure you're working hard and taking the trades. But all right, that is the hour. That is the week. That's the gappers this week. We'll be back Monday. Is the market closed Monday? I thought I saw it on a calendar somewhere. The next time the market's open, we will be here for Good Morning NASDAQ at 8:45 a.m. We're going to head on over to the Clover room where you can get access for just $7. If you head on over to clovertrade.io, check out 4Leaf. You can get a week for $7, get access to everything, get access to video lessons, archive webinars, live webinars that week. You can ask questions in the chat, see trade alerts and watch lists, all that good stuff. $7, $1 a day is what we call it. Also have a boot camp coming up in a few weeks in New York City. You can still get tickets to that on clovertrade.io as well. We'd love to have you there. We love our in-person events. We try to offer as much value as we possibly can with special guest speakers, presentations, cocktail hours, live trading, all that good stuff. So if you're in the area or are traveling, consider it. It's on all of our socials on clovertrade.io as well. You can get all your information about the New York City boot camp coming up first week in March. With that being said, I hope you guys all had a phenomenal week. We had fun being here live on YouTube with you, and we're looking forward to next week already. Make sure you stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful long weekend if it is a long weekend. And we'll see you guys first thing next time the market's open.